Hello everyone! It is the 22nd day of Shorty September. Is it the first day of autumn? Does anyone know this? Is it the 21st or the 22nd? I don't really know. Either way, we're now in autumn and I'm sad about it because I love the shit out of summer. But anyway, whatever, Halloween's coming, I'll just be cool. Today's project is The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nevo. This one is for the Skorts prompt. My dog is like whining behind me. This is for like the genre. I always want to say gender bending. Well, it is gender bending a bit actually, which is cool. But it's also genre bending, which is the actual prompt. I was going to read the mezzanine for this, but then bumped it for this one. It's been bumped twice now. It's officially the uncool kid at school. Okay, so super excited about this one before starting it. Like, I have no idea what it's about, basically, but they got me with like Handmaiden, Empress, like at once feminist high fantasy and indictment of monarchy, like that. But since I've been reading it, like on about chapter 4 or so now in the morning, since I've been reading it, I'm just super confused. I have no idea what's going on. I still have no idea what it's about. I don't understand the characters or why they're together or what's happening at all. So, I'm hoping that more will be revealed. I'm not sure if maybe, like, okay, I understand that I'm supposed to be confused because there is a bit of mention of it because one of the characters is confused. But also I wonder if maybe it's me, like I've missed something. Maybe I'm not smart enough to grasp what's going on here. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's just too early in the book to not be confused. I'll let you know. Like, now Maisie's losing her mind because Hank has gone somewhere without her. She's like that. Like, she doesn't really like Hank that much. Like, they never cuddle, and she's never, like, you know, like, loves him or whatever. But whenever he leaves without her, she gets the anxieties. Anyway, like, he came in from his, like, going out to have, like, a wee. Came in with, like, blood all in his mouth and, like, dripping and whatever. And I was like, oh, God, did he, like, eat a squirrel or something? But then James was like, no, it's like coming from his mouth, and it was like dripping, like he'd cut himself or like he like bit something really hard and broke a tooth or something. It was just like coming out. So James is taking him to the vet. Like, I hope he's okay. Like, it didn't look too bad. Like, and Jay just texted me and was like, it's completely stopped now. Like, really annoyingly, you wouldn't even know that anything bad had happened to him. And he seems like fine or whatever. But when it's like that horror show with just like blood dripping everywhere, like, you want them to, like, get checked out, don't you? Okay. I'm having lunch break. I'm eating vegan coleslaw, which is nice, but it's obviously not the life I want for myself for lunch. But I have to just basically eat whatever it is that James makes and then leaves in the fridge unless I want to actually make food, which I never do, so that's fine. Okay, I'm a bit further now. I think I'm on chapter 8, is it? Yeah. And things are becoming clearer. So to be fair, like, it's still muddy, it's still mucky, but I feel like the muckiness that's left is meant to be there, right? So this cleric, or like a sort of recorder of information, they sort of listen to history and listen to stories and record them. They are on their way to the capital to sort of see the new empress, or the swearing in of this new empress, and they're traveling with this like bird creature thing, which also recounts history or remembers history. And before, so the new empress is now there, but before the old empress died, the old empress was sent into exile into these places that were then sealed off. No one was allowed to go there because the empress was there in exile. So now that she has died, people can go there again. So this cleric and this like bird thing have gone to this magical lake that was one of the exile places, and they found that the house where the empress lived is still there, not boarded up. There's still someone living in it, and it's the old servant of the empress. So now the servant is like recounting her life serving the empress and living with the empress. And it's like we're getting some themes now, okay? We're getting some definite themes of people who are forgotten by history generally and don't have a voice, you know, and are with this cleric who listens to stories and writes them down and understands things. They're being given this voice, you know? I think there's also probably an element of like refusing to be just like thrown back in time and like forgotten in history, you know, and wanting to sort of like fighting to have your voice, you know, and to be sort of recorded in history. Anyway, that's how I think we're going with this. It's still unclear why it is that they want to go to the capital. I guess just to see the Empress, or if anything will actually happen, or if the whole book is just the story of this old woman who lived with the Empress from a young girl to an old woman. I don't know. Okay, so yesterday I promised the second half of the book haul. Okay, so yesterday I said the shorties, right? So now I have 5 other ones that are definitely not shorties and sort of fit an accidental October theme, you know, sort of a thriller or like a spooky or like a horror or something like that. Okay, I'll start with The Remaking by Clay McLeod Chapman. Loads of people have said about this one on BookTube and how good it is, so I'm excited. Ella Louise has lived in the woods surrounding Pilots Creek, Virginia for nearly a decade. Publicly, she and her daughter Jessica are shunned by her upper-crust family and the local residents. Privately, desperate characters visit her apothecary for a cure to what ails them, until Ella Louise is blamed for the death of a prominent customer. Accused of witchcraft, Ella Louise and Jessica are burnt at the stake in the middle of the night. Ella Louise's burial site is never found, but the little girl has the most famous grave in the South, a steel-reinforced coffin surrounded by a fence of interconnected white crosses. Their story will take the shape of an urban legend as it's told around a campfire by a man forever marked by his boyhood encounters with Jessica. Decades later, a boy at that campfire will cast Amber Pendleton as Jessica in a 70s horror movie inspired by the witch girl of Pilots Creek. Amber's experiences on the set and its meta remake in the 90s will ripple through pop culture, ruining her life and career after she becomes the target of a witch hunt. I'm just mad excited for that one. Like, I need to lower my expectations, but I'm excited. Next one is Strangers on a Train by Patricia Highsmith. So, Bert at Past Storytime got me hooked on Patricia Highsmith. I love her. Her, like, crime thrillers are ace. So this one is basically 2 guys on a train decide to knock off each other's problem. So, like, one guy's dad and one guy's wife or whatever, or one guy's brother, are, like, giving him problems. So they decide to each kill the other person's problem. So, like, one guy's gonna kill the other guy's dad, like that, and then they're gonna meet back on the train. Nothing's gonna go wrong. This is gonna work completely fine. Okay, next one is Mina and the Undead by Amy McCall. So loads of people have been talking about this one as well. It's in YA, so it's creepy-ish and it's about vampires, but it's YA. I think that's gonna be really good. I remember one person reading it and saying it wasn't good. Can't remember who that was, but I think everyone else who read it enjoyed it. I don't tend to get on very well with YA these days, but it still just sounds cute, doesn't it? It just sounds cute. I'm in. Okay, next one I heard about from NPR, the NPR Book Concierge, called The Regrets by Amy Bonifants. So this one is about a girl who meets a guy and really likes him, but then turns out he's dead. He's a ghost. And he's doing his, like, stint on Earth. Like, he's stuck in limbo or whatever. In order to get out of limbo, he's got to do, like, this stint of 90 days on Earth. And while he's on Earth, it's very important that he not make any, like, attachments of merit to anyone on Earth, lest he acquire regrets. So, don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like regrets will be acquired, which I'm for. Okay, last one. I could read for Indigathon in November if I wanted to. I think it's based on Métis legends, you know, or, like, stories. So it is called Empire of Wild by Cherie Demoline. Don't know. So I tried to get this one last November when I was doing a Indigathon. It hadn't come out yet, which is weird. I think it maybe just didn't come out in the UK yet or something. I was having a hard time getting it. Anyway, got it now, bitches. It's I think it's like a woman's husband goes missing and she searches for him for ages. Like thinks he's dead or whatever. And then weirdly, finds him in like a tent revival, like a Christian revival meeting as the pastor or the preacher. He's there, he's just a preacher, and she's like, where have you been? And he's like, I'm not who you think I am. Like, he claims he's not this person. So she's got to, like, I don't know, get him back, like convince him he is that person and whatever. So it sounds weird. And it's got a thing at the top that says from Margaret Atwood. Deftly written, gripping, informative, a rip-roaring read. Anything Margaret Atwood wants me to read, I'm going to read immediately. Ta-da! Haul.
I'm not gonna have any t-shirt, just a bit of dark clothes because like this, like dark clothes, so I can go in good colours after I have.
Okay, I have finished it. And my thoughts are this. I'm going to give it 4 stars because I enjoyed the writing and I really liked the end. And I did like that it's like it's sort of about the voiceless, you know, giving voice to the voiceless, or sort of like the voiceless demanding that they have a voice, you know, and sort of things being overlooked, like really important things in history sort of being overlooked. I really liked that. I'm knocking it down a star though. I think because, I don't know, there were parts of it that just sort of went on and on and on. I wasn't into them. Like sort of bits like that were sort of almost boring, you know. But I think the ending and the writing sort of made up for it in the end. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to give this 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. Like, I think what happened is, and I feel like you already know, because I feel like you probably saw it coming. I was too excited. I was too excited about this one. And it happens every time when I think it's just going to be 80,000 stars. And then just ends up being like a normal 5 stars. In my mind, it's 4 stars. Like, it would have been 5 stars if I hadn't like expected it to be the world's greatest book. Do you know what I mean? I've done it to myself, and I think what happens is I need to reread it. But I don't like to reread things as much, you know. Anyway, I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. I really liked the end. I can't tell you what it is, obviously, but you should read it just for the end. The end was really good. Also, as a side note, I really liked the world building stuff, like the weird bird thing that has memory or whatever, and like the cleric who sort of hears stories and records stories for posterity, or like hears the people who no one will hear, you know? Love that. Anyway. Okay, so the book for tomorrow is the very last prompt in round 2 of Shorty September. It's the hometown shorts, or like the book that's set where you are. So I'm going to read this Welsh beauty. This is one of that series of books that I really like, where each of the books takes one of the stories from the Mabinogion, which is a collection of sort of medieval Welsh folktales and legends, and rewrites it, or sort of like retells it in a modern way or a futuristic way, or just like spins it and just like retells it. Anyway, more about that tomorrow, hopefully. I'm on a roll, and I think I can probably finish it tomorrow, because even though it's a proper 200 pages, like, you know, the text is big and it's like doesn't take up a whole page, but I have been really busy in work lately. So I think I can finish it for tomorrow, I think. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, any little things to say at all, please let me know, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow.